Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to clean a behind the ear hearing aid with a ear mould attached. So we're looking at this behind the ear hearing aid that has an ear mould attached. This is a custom made ear mould to the shape of your ear. So if this is not working, you want to figure out why it's not working. So you've got two parts to the hearing aid. You've got the hearing aid itself, and then you've got the hook at the top with the mould attached here. This tubing on here should be nice and bendy. If this tubing isn't nice and bendy and it's very hard and brittle, it'll be very difficult to get off and it can't snap at the top. So we recommend changing this tubing every, say, 6 months. So if it's not working, we're going to take them apart to figure out which part's causing the problem, the hearing aid or the mould. So they're joined at the end of the hook here. So where the soft bit meets the hard bit, you want to try and pull them apart. Now this can be quite fiddly. Once you've pulled them apart, you want to make sure that this hearing aid has a new battery in it. So you take the hearing aid out, the battery out, take the sticker off and pop it in your hearing aid, flat shiny side upwards. You then want to close the door. You want to wait 5 seconds while the hearing aid comes on. I'll play a bit of music, and then once it came on, it should whistle and make a noise like this. Great, so we know the hearing aid's working. So when those are attached, if that's not working, then we know there's a problem with this mould. So what we want to do is make sure this mould's nice and clean. And there's different ways you can clear it. Usually, it's the bit at the end that's going into your ear here, this big hole at the top. If you have a smaller hole at the bottom, don't worry about that hole, that's a vent. So that just goes in one end out the other. That shouldn't cause any problems. But this hole at the top here, that's connected to this tubing, you want that to be as clear as possible for the sound to come through. So some people clear this in various different ways. So you can use like a little pin or a little pick, a little brush, and you can kind of scoop out anything that's blocking the end of that, like wax or sweat or moisture. Some people use this, what we call an airball puffer. You can buy this in any audiology store or online. If you put it in the top, so not the bottom, because you don't want to blow further through. If you put in the top of the tubing and blow, that will blow through any moisture, sweat, wax, and out the other end. That is probably the easiest way to do it, but that would cost about £6, depending on where you buy it from. If you don't have one of those, you could use a bit of kind of wire or thread. So we use this sort of fishing wire. You can thread that through the top of the tubing, and if you straighten that tubing up, it should come all the way out the other end, and then you could work that round and clear that tubing out. So as long as that tubing's clear, the hearing aid should work again. So you would then just push that hard hook into that hole at the top, and again it can be quite fiddly, so you need nimble fingers, and then attach them, turn your hearing aid back on, wait 5 seconds, and that, as you can hear, is playing the music, and it should whistle in your hand again. Lovely.